This liquid damaged Switch Lite was donated to us by Brian. It was the unfortunate victim of a potty training accident by his son. Let's get right into it and see if we can bring it back to life. There we go. Doesn't look so bad so far, but can definitely smell it. Unfortunately, smell is one of those things that doesn't translate well into video. We're gonna go ahead and disassemble pretty much everything here because everything is gonna want a good clean. No visible liquid damage yet, but we've got to dig deeper. Let's get that battery disconnected. And see, by using that hot air, I was able to not tear this little sponge pad. It's at this point I'm starting to notice that corrosion in some of these contact points here, right down here, up here. We have some more over here, well around this chip, and over here, back here. So I'm hopeful that just with cleaning, we might be able to get a good result out of this. Just using extreme caution if trying to use metal tweezers around these cables because they can tear pretty easy, but they also help me grab things a lot easier. All right, are we excited to see the other side of this? Let's check it out. We'll definitely have to take a look under the microscope, but so far that doesn't look too bad on this side. This is going to be one of the big questions that I face, whether or not to replace and update these thumbsticks. There's some nice corrosion. One of the most helpful tricks I have learned in the short couple years experience I have working on these is that this battery is easiest to get out if we completely remove this housing with the battery from the faceplate and the screen. And since we're doing a complete disassembly anyway, that's the direction we're gonna go. Any more hidden screws here? I don't think so. So let's carefully separate this. No problem. At this point, there is a decision to be made, whether or not we want to completely take the digitizer and the screen face off of here, or just kind of clean around it. And I think at this point with this one, because of the liquid that got inside of these button openings, I want to really deep clean this faceplate. So I'm going to completely disassemble this digitizer and the screen as well. I'm scared doing this. Trying to kind of feel my way here super closely. Well, that was scary, but at least I didn't crack it, which I have done before on these, so all right. My mind isn't 100% made up if I want to try to remove this battery out of here. These are infamously difficult to remove. For some reason, Nintendo must really not have wanted people to replace these batteries because they put just a ridiculously aggressive sticky pad underneath them that requires a bunch of IPA and time and slow maneuvering to try to pry this out of here. So I've kind of come to the point where when I need to replace a battery, I just replace the battery and this housing all as one. But I'm also in the privileged position of having easy access to these parts because I work with Steve at TronicsFix. I am curious to take a look inside of these speaker housings. They look fine to me, so unless they end up not working, I think we will go ahead and use these again. An argument could definitely be made about not submersing this in water because of this little barcode sticker here. For the amount of time that I'm doing it, I have never had an issue. Those seem to be pretty well laminated. And I definitely want to go with the submersive soapy clean, considering what trauma this particular system has been through. There are these little pads here for the joysticks that are held together by a couple little small adhesive points. If I scrub on this too hard, they can come off. If they do, they can be reattached. It's not that big of a deal. Once again, these are minor risks that I'm willing to take for the sake of getting this clean on the level that I want to. One of these days we'll use Steve's ultrasonic cleaner. This is a small enough project I don't mind doing it by hand. The recommendation for the ultrasonic cleaner is definitely one of the most frequently commented pieces of advice that I receive, and I hear it, and I'm looking forward to trying it. I want to make sure to pretty much cover every surface that I'm cleaning with something disinfectant and definitely something that's going to neutralize that odor. So between some electronic safe disinfectant wipes and my isopropyl alcohol bottle, an assortment of makeup brushes and something with a little bit of stiffer bristles for getting that corrosion, and a cotton swab or two, let's get everything taken care of. For the sake of the smell and definitely just sanitary purposes, I'm using a disinfectant but electronics safe wipe here. Definitely want to be careful on this digitizer. And then a nice soft microfiber cloth. I do want to try these thumbsticks to see if they are working. It would definitely be ideal if we could keep using them, but I also believe that if not, we have some replacement Hall effect sticks that we can put in here. I do like to use a contact cleaner though down on the inside of these. You kind of get behind this little membrane here and flush that out. We will end up reapplying all of this thermal paste, so we can go ahead and wipe it off of here. Pretty much everything that I'm cleaning here is either getting hit by the Dawn dish detergent or IPA or some form of electronic safe disinfectant cleaner. And it's simply because I don't want anything smelling like pee when I turn it on and get it warmed up and working. One of the areas that I want to make sure to get especially clean is this seam here on the front, where I can kind of see this yellow grossness that has built up. It's an easy place to miss when doing the clean, but it's definitely an area that is going to benefit. So where did this piece, and I gave it the old nose test, and if I could smell anything that reminded me at all of that urine smell that was kind of all over a lot of these pieces, I would definitely pop this battery out and wash it. I'm not smelling that though. I don't see any evidence of the liquid damage getting around the battery here, so I'm just gonna clean this without popping the battery out, and that's what we're gonna do. Definitely want to encourage you after you're done with this to watch another Switch Lite video that I did where we tried to salvage one that looked like it had been in a car accident or something. And in that one we do pop the battery out and learn a few things while we go. So if you're curious about seeing that part of the process and how much it takes in order to get these dumb batteries out, be sure to check that video out after you're done with this one. And that brings us down to the two final things we have to clean, our daughter board and motherboard, and we definitely have some corrosion to take care of. Just kind of give the surface a going over real quick. An extremely gentle makeup brush here with a little bit of that IPA. Little sticker here that's going to it already has lost its little pattern in here that would show you that there wasn't any liquid damage at this point in here on the board. So I'm not worried about avoiding it as I clean it now with the IPA because it's already been saturated and lost that little pattern. All right, that takes care of the gentle surface clean. Now I want to look with the naked eye and see if we can find any of those spots that needed a little bit of extra attention. It's actually kind of inside where that cable connects. There's a little bit of corrosion around this. Then I can see some more down here in this corner. I don't remember seeing anything on the back side, but we want to take a look anyway. Spray some of these connection points out. We need to look at things a little more closely though, so let's get the microscope out. So this is harder to see here with the naked eye, but we definitely have some corrosion around these little guys right here. So I'm gonna give that a little bit of a brushing. All right, that looks a lot better. Let's keep scanning. There's that oxidized little pad right there. Okay, I think the daughter board is okay. Now let's take a look at this motherboard. I'm just gonna clean behind here. Just to do it, even though I think all those pins are okay, but a little bit here, but I think we've already got it pretty well. There we go. Even though I don't think that's messing with anything. There's a little spot. See if I can find that. Just a tiny little, it's loose. Let's just brush it out of there. Okay, I think it looks good to me. All right, everything's clean, but we got to put it all back together to find out if it's working. So let's just go ahead and do that. All right, we're done putting it back together, but that does not mean we're done. I'm gonna plug this in, charge it up, and we're gonna see if it turns on. All right, I've left this plugged in overnight. Let's see what happens. Oh, so one thing that's interesting here, it did turn on here, but you can see we're not getting any charge. We do have sound. Other stuff seems to be working. Let's check the game slot here. Power is an issue, especially when you're talking about a console that's designed to be on the go. This is supposed to be the most portable version of the Switch. So not getting a battery charge, that's an issue. I think that's something we're gonna have to ask Steve if is within my ability to fix, or if we need to bring him into the project, because this is so close to being a finished, good, awesome win of a project. I wanna try unplugging it and see if the battery is giving anything to this thing. If not, it should completely turn off as soon as I unplug it. Okay, console battery 6%. So it's not getting a charge. It is supplying juice, but it's, So I plugged this in a different outlet to try charging it again, and I discovered something. It actually is taking a charge. Right now, after a little bit, it's already at 54%. So why wasn't it charging earlier? Is there something that's shorting out inside of here, or did I have a faulty cable? I did discover what the problem is, and that is going to bring us to a conclusion on this project. Let me show you. We're just gonna take a little field trip right around the corner here to this box right here that I have all of my lights plugged into. And I also happen to have this power strip plugged into that I use for this charger to try to charge that Switch Lite. When I left work yesterday and left this to charge overnight, as I always do, I switch off that switch to turn off all my studio lights, thus robbing this of its precious power. So this actually completely works. If you enjoyed this video, I want to encourage you to stick with me and watch the treatment that I give to this Switch Lite here behind me. It's one of my favorite videos and one of my favorite projects. I think you'll like it. I'll leave a link for you right down here at the bottom of the screen to take you straight to that video. And if, like Brian, you have something that you think might make for a good TronicsFix or Restore-ish video, we have a link down in the description where you can start a dialogue with us about it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next time.